Bonjour French 102 students, bienvenue au vidéo 5 du chapitre 4. So welcome to video 5 of chapter 4. I can't believe it's already the 5th lesson already. It seems like the semester just started like a couple days ago or something, and we're heading to the end of our second week already. So in today's lesson we're going to be learning about le verbe aller. This is a really important verb in French, just like the verb to go is very important in English, and that's what aller is, to go. Et la préposition à, okay, which basically means to most of the time in English. Okay, so aller à, go to. That's what we're going to be learning about. And this verb is extremely useful to talk about things you're doing continuously, or maybe even to talk about what you're going to do in the immediate future, something you're going to do very soon. In fact, I just used it in English now. I said things you're gonna do or going to do in the immediate future. Okay, so here you see a review of the conjugation of the verb aller, and I think it's a good place to start, just to review the verb. If you haven't seen it for a while, get it back in your mind. One of the things about language learning, and I've experienced this many times myself throughout my whole life that I've been learning and studying languages, is that when you don't use it for a while, it is so easy to forget things. It's like a use it or lose it kind of skill. So if you're not practicing with somebody, you're not reading or listening on a regular basis, it goes away. So, and I think the reason for that is that the human brain is really designed in a way that, if we're not using a certain skill, we have finite space in our brains to be able to store that information. So if our brain needs more space for something else, it will let go some of the things we're not using. So, if you haven't studied French for some time, hey, take the opportunity to build up your skills now as much as you can. Okay, to that end, I will give you the chance to go ahead and review the verb aller. I'll give you a chance to pronounce all the different parts. So I will say each part of the conjugation, and then I'll give you a moment to go ahead and practice pronouncing that. Okay, so I go is je vais. You go is tu vas. Okay, he, she, or one, we, go would be il va, elle va, or on va. Notice the nasal vowel sound there, on va. You can choose whichever one of these you would like, either il, elle, or on. And remember, with nous and vous in this case, we have the little z there, so that means there is a liaison or a connection. So normally S would be silent for nous and vous, we and you. But when you pronounce it before a verb beginning with a vowel sound, then you are going to pronounce the S. So it becomes nous allons. And vous allez. And finally, ils vont or elles vont. Okay, so now we remember how to use the verb aller, right? But if you're going to be using it in everyday conversation, we need to know how you combine the preposition à, with words that come after it. So let's say that you want to say, I'm going to the movies. Je vais au cinéma. Okay, so if you were to break this down, it would be je vais à le cinéma. Cinéma is a masculine noun. But in French, when you have à and le next to each other, they don't stay à and le. You combine them to form the contraction au. Je vais au cinéma. Oh, I'm going to the movies. Okay, if you are combining à with a feminine noun that's coming after it, with a feminine article like la, nothing happens. They stay separated. So, je vais à la librairie. So, I'm going to the bookstore. Okay, if you are combining a with, let's say, a noun that begins with a vowel, like université, it would be la université, but because a is a vowel and u is a vowel, the a gets dropped and it becomes a contraction. So, Gabriel va à l'université. Okay, and finally, if you are putting a together with a plural article like les festivals, a plus les becomes o. Robert va au festival de musique de la région. Okay, so I'm going to give you a chance to practice using some of these contractions along with the verb aller. We'll stick with just using je vais for this practice. So you could say je vais au cinéma, je vais au café, je vais au théâtre, je vais au musée. Think of the places that you know, some of the ones that I just listed, and you can go ahead and practice saying this yourself. Okay, so you can do the same thing with a feminine noun like librairie. You could say je vais à la librairie, je vais à la bibliothèque, which would be like a library rather than a bookstore. It's kind of a false friend in between English and French. Librairie is bookstore, bibliothèque is library. Or je vais à la maison. So I'm going home. Je vais à la plage. I'm going to the beach. So any of those would be possible. So now you can try it. Okay, so we could also think of at least one more example comes to mind for the one where we see à l'université. So Gabriel, or let's say in this case je vais à l'université, or je peux dire, I can say, je vais à l'église. Église, church, begins with a vowel sound also, so it would be the same combination, à l'église. Now you try. Okay, and finally, I can say je vais au festival de musique. I can say je vais au magasin, to the stores if I want to go shopping. Je vais au concert. I'm going to concerts. So you can choose one of those or another one that comes to your mind. Okay, so this was a pretty short lesson. I think it's a good review of the verb aller. It's a good review of how the preposition a combines with the articles le, la, L apostrophe, like L apostrophe, and les. All of them mean the. They're just different forms of the word the. Of course, in English, we only have one the, and it kind of applies to everything. But in French, as you may remember, le and la are the masculine and feminine forms of the before masculine or feminine nouns. L apostrophe goes before a word that begins with a vowel sound, and les is always for plurals. Okay, so that's everything for le verbe aller cette fois. On se voit la prochaine fois. We'll see each other the next time. Et à bientôt.